yesterday we were just talking with Milo about some of the days down in Islamorada, and honestly, you really spanned an era there with handing the torch over from Gary to you, and then carrying it now, and you might say handing it off to Caleb. But I mean, talk about formative years. Like, what was the decision like to have the courage to say, I'm bought into what Mike's teachings are. I'm going to go with him and I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to go be around these guys. Like, what was that experience in the lead up to 2008 like?
That was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't trade that time for anything. I was an 18-year-old kid making the decision, and quite frankly, it was sort of it was a no lose situation for me because I had the Olympic waiver. If I didn't have the Olympic waiver, man, my parents, there's no way they would have let me do that. They would have been like, no, you are going to school and that is final. But because we had a piece of paper saying, hey, your NCAA eligibility, your scholarship is preserved. What an amazing opportunity. I was actually still young. I was young for my grade at the time. I had skipped kindergarten. So I was one of those kids, freshman year, I had to fax like medical paperwork home so my parents could sign it and they had to fax it back. How annoying is that?
What's a fax?
Yeah. So that's and being there with that crew and training for the Olympics, like, a lot of people would give a lot for that. And I'm very grateful that Mike and the Halls were willing to present me with that opportunity. Working with some of the greatest coaches and then being around some of the greatest athletes. And I absolutely still to this day take a lot from what I learned from Milo, sorry. I can't get that right in my head. And Gary and Dewey. I mean, they just like the way they trained, the way George trained then, and then the way George progressed and learned from that experience as he moved on to, training for 2012. I just like love seeing those perspectives. And with my entire career, I am like, hey, is that something that maybe I could do? Is that something that I think I could, work into what I'm doing? Give it a try. If it doesn't work, toss it out the window. And if it does work, then we try, we take it internal and then we try to build on it.
You feel like the learnings, I mean, Milo was saying how much there was to soak up, maybe not even just on the pool deck, but also, at lunch, at dinner, hanging out with all these guys. And I mean, we were just talking to Duya about his philosophy of, being a lighter guy, being all about technique and connection and kind of, swimming on top of the water and, allegedly scrawny Nathan Adrian. I don't remember you that way at all. So like, you're always such a powerful guy and really strong. And I'm just wondering about like the meld of all of the ideas, but then also you guys having the maturity and sort of, the wherewithal to say, I hear you. That's an idea. I might try it, but maybe it doesn't fit for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a spot on. And it was so cool for me to experience all of the different, like, I can't call it cultures, but the product of those cultures. I mean, I would have never lived with a guy from Trinidad. I would have never known what that was all about. I would have never known that he had 70-foot anacondas like floating, and he would see them on his boat and stuff. Like his stories are absolutely amazing. He's a total jungle man. I love it. And then Dewey and Kavik and hearing what Dewey's experience was in Croatia, and he was a big deal. We walk around in Zagreb and people know who he is. That's amazing. This is before Michael had won 8 gold medals. So that was he was a rock star. He still is a rock star. And then Gary, getting to know him was awesome. I think he had this larger than life persona, but it sort of kind of came to him because of his circumstances, and he went with it. And I appreciate what he did to basically own it, right? And be this larger than life character and bring what he brought to swimming. I even then I knew that wasn't me. That I don't think I could but I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the next person who does.